Let's go. All right. Okay, yes, I am live now. Okay. Should be live and everybody should be able to hear me, I think. Oh dear. Right, this is because obviously I haven't been on a stream for ages. I have missed you guys so much, but I've just been so busy with all sorts of other stuff, and I feel bad because I feel like I've let you guys down, and that's why I'm back online for a stream now. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just check that Twitch is working as well, and that's why I'm back online for. There we go. I'm live everywhere I need to be. Fantastic. Okay, so just make sure I've got everything up. Okay, excellent. I'm live everywhere I need to be. Fantastic. Okay. Richie, thank you. You're in the chat there, Richie. Let's see what we got. We got Richie there telling me about that he can hear me. And Paul saying he could hear me as well, but obviously I was just live on Twitch, but not on YouTube, and I was getting very confused myself. Confusing. I'm always getting confused, guys. That's why I don't do live streams. Because I'm literally not with it anymore. So hopefully that's all working fine now. Okay, so let's minimize this this screen here, and then I can start doing a proper live stream. It's been a while. I have to say sorry for that, because and that's exactly the reason why I'm actually probably a bit rusty with the old live streams. I felt really quite a bit nervous about doing one as well, guys. I felt a bit like, you know, I would be out of my depth because it's been such a long time since I did one before. How is everybody doing? Really, really, really glad to see so many of you already in the chat, considering that I have abandoned you for so long. We've got Paul, obviously, over in YouTube and over on Twitch as well. I did buy another monitor, though, which you probably noticed in my other videos, because I was planning to do more live streams. I was like, I'll get back into live stream soon, I'll do it. And I got another monitor so that I could stick Twitch chat and all the rest of it over on that side and have everything else clean and in front of me there, and I just didn't get around to doing any live streams. But I have to thank Richie for basically kicking my ass into gear and getting me to basically get on here and get going with some more videos. Yes, we've got Richie there, subscribed at tier 1. Oh my god, for 9 months. Wow, mate, you're very dedicated. I do really appreciate it, and I'm glad actually, because you kicked my ass into gear to get back on the streams. So fantastic stuff. Let's see, who else have we got? We've got, of course, Christopher Miller. Hey Chris, how are you doing? Glad to have you in there. Joe as well, and we've got Amir. Digibyte Amir. Hey, love Digibyte. Yes, I think Digibyte's going to do very well, but you saw that the community on Digibyte is so strong and big and active that it just it's one of those coins that's going to do well, because obviously they're developing a lot of stuff, but because the actual community behind it are huge, and where you have good community, you're going to have good projects that last and survive any kind of market. But today we are going to be talking about the market, of course, because Bitcoin had a whopping bit of a dump, and everybody started saying about it being the end, except us at Crypto Big, because of course you would have seen on Twitter the whole time we were like, no, this is not the end of the market. Please stop panicking and do not sell at the bottom. And I had loads of people, friends of mine, in fact, messaging me saying, James, shall I sell? Shall I sell? And I'm like, if you were going to sell, you wanted to sell at the beginning of this week before it crashed down 50%. There's no point selling now down at 50% off. That's just ridiculous. No, don't do it. You either go to zero or you wait for it to go back up to the top, is what I've been telling people. But not financial advice, of course, because I don't give that financial advice. Oh, dearie me. Nadir's in the chat too. Yes. Nice to see you, Nadir. He says, "Hey mate, how are you doing? Long time no see. We missed you. I missed you guys as well. I'm really glad to see the pig fam is back together here. I think that's pretty cool. I'm feeling very positive about the fact that you're all here as well. I just have a sip of water, and then I'm going to tell you the agenda for today's video. Now, I know that I mean, I could have done this as a pre-recorded video, but this market is so volatile at the moment. By the time I do a video about Bitcoin going back up, it will be back up, and the video will be pointless. So live stream works best for this anyway. Oh, Richie, the bot's gone. I think that's probably because I've neglected the channel. It's disappeared. I will have to look at getting the bot back because the bot was brilliant. Do our dabs work? Are the dabs still there? Has anybody tried to dab in Twitch? Oh yeah, Richie dabbed at the beginning, so the dab emojis are still working. So okay, right. Let's get into this. Let's get going. I noticed on Twitter that I didn't actually even not Twitter, on Twitch, I didn't even change the title of my last live stream. The last live stream I did was Bitcoin is at a crucial level right now, buy, sell or hodl. How things don't change in this market, really. Okay, so anyway guys, it's good. We've got loads and loads of people coming into the chat now. Really glad to see that. We're giving people a chance to join in. For people over on YouTube, we also have people watching over on Twitch, and obviously for people on Twitch, we have people watching on YouTube, and I'm going to try and reply to as many comments as I can, and make sure that I pay enough attention to all of you. And so what have we got there? We've got Christopher Miller mentioning something called Injective Protocol. And Classborn, of course, reminding people that they should press the like button. Please do hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. That would be really, really good. And Paul says, how I miss those cringe dabs. Don't worry, mate. We're going to get a dab in for the video today. We'll just wait for the... we'll wait to get in the momentum going. And as we get into it, then the dab is coming out. And you will all get to see the dab if you haven't seen one before. It is it's a pig fam tradition that on a live stream I do the dab for everybody, mainly because I'm old school like that, and I know how cringy the dab is. Joe is asking, what's your Twitter? It's at CryptoPigMedia for Twitter, and if you want to see us over on, if you would prefer watching on Twitch, you can jump over there and see us at CryptoPig Live. So yeah, we're over on Twitch. So no, that's good. Things in the market. Oh, Joe's found us now anyway. Great. Yes, things in the market. Well, wasn't that a week? You can tell me what your thoughts were. Obviously, things look a little bit better today. What did you think about Bitcoin and the rest of the market? Were you actually worried about what was going to happen? Did you think that it was it? The end of the market was there? There's some really, really fascinating metrics I want to get across to you guys in today's video, which shows just how serious that last pullback was, but also why it is incredibly bullish that we just had that correction as well. So, you know, I could cut to the chase and just tell you right now at the beginning of the video, Bitcoin, I believe, is nowhere near done and it's going to go flying. But I don't want you to leave the video just yet. So I'm going to keep you hanging on as we talk about the reasons why Bitcoin is going to be going up, what to look out for in the market, and of course what you know, the risks are that might be coming up that we do need to worry about and keep an eye on. So that's the agenda for today. We are going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the big ones, but as I do have to do this for Richie, because I feel incredibly terrible that Richie has been subscribed to us over on Twitch, a paying subscriber for months and months, and he's just been holding on, waiting for me to get back on the live stream, and I've been letting him down. So I'm going to look at Cake and FTT as well, which is FTX token. Is that right, Richie? Let me know if that's correct. People are complaining that there's a buffering error over on Twitch. I'm looking at Twitch myself, and the quality looks really bad. Let's see. Maybe it's my... Let me just change a setting. Perhaps that's what the problem is. Let's have a look. Pardon me. I'm just having a quick look to see if there's any settings I can change there, guys, to improve the streaming quality over there for you. Because on YouTube, I think it looks all right. We'll probably look at Digibyte as well, actually, guys, of course, because there's a big Digibyte community, yeah. I'm just checking my settings for video quality just to see what's going on there. YouTube, you guys aren't having any problems with the buffering or anything like that, are you? Let me know if you are, and I'll try and sort it out. It's probably just going to be teething problems because I haven't been alive for a long time. But it is saying, actually, even on YouTube, it's saying that there's a keyframe error. So it probably is just a bit of a bug from just not having been on live for a while. But I will make sure that I get it fixed for the next one for sure, guys. I promise that I will do that. Joe, thank you very much for retweeting the live out to people. And that's a good point. I should probably let people know that we're live. If you can all let people... Paul saying buffering on YouTube only. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, we'll get it fixed anyway. Oh, CZ Arts in the chat too. Hey, how you doing, CZ? I haven't seen you for a while either. This is cool. We've got the whole gang back together. Got 17 of you in the chat on YouTube, and quite a few of you over, 6 of you over on Twitch as well. That's not too bad. That's not too bad, seeing as I haven't been online for a live stream in, what's that? Oh, it's probably been 6 months, hasn't it, guys? It's been pretty bad. But I'm back, and seeing as we're doing well with this one, I will probably try and do more live streams because I find them more fun anyway. Right. Let's get down to the business, though, guys. Well, hopefully down to the business to see if we can get the... I wonder what else doesn't work when I try and go across to different tabs. Okay, so before we go there, let's see. Okay, now I know what we're doing. And we want to have... that one, but I don't want my emails open, so let's close that. And yep, okay, I think we've got it working. So let's get over to what matters. It is, of course, going to be the markets. So, okay. The deer's like, oh, we feel the same fun. Yeah, the fun of getting all this working. And there we go. All right. I've got my little message there as well, not financial advice. It's all on the screen for you. So the market looks much better today, at the very least. We are down again today from where we were like sort of last night. But we'll look at the charts and I'll show you what I think. For those of you who bought at the bottom, though, you must be happy with the fact that, you know, obviously most of you probably hodled through the dip anyway. But anybody who had any spare cash during that dip is probably happy now because a lot of these are up by quite a bit. I don't know what it'll be over the 7 days, but over the last 7 days, a lot of these are up by sort of 11, 12, 15%. I think it's actually probably more than that since the bottom of the dip. We'll look at that on the charts. Let's see if anybody managed to buy at the bottom on Ethereum, for example. Where are we at now? Bloody hell, really? If you bought at the bottom of that dip, you're up 60% already. No, that's insane. See, look at that. That's why you should always try and keep some fiat to one side or some USDT to one side, because when these corrections do happen, if you don't panic and throw yourself off of a tall building, and you've got the money spare to buy, look at that already in this week, in the matter of 3 days, up that ridiculous amount of money. So that's pretty impressive stuff. Um, we are going to be doing technical analysis. Yeah, that's exactly the plan, Nadia. So yes, the market looking a bit better over the last couple of days. Obviously, people who didn't, people have hodled, still some way off getting there, sort of like back to where we were. But we're going to get there, and there's a good couple of reasons for it. Now, stuff happening in the news all the time. You'll know that the whole saga with the dip, the narrative that everybody likes to go with at the moment is, of course, that Elon Musk tweeted about Tesla not accepting Bitcoin. Now, to be fair, that did have an effect, but that on its own could not be the reason why we dipped, 50%. It was about 50% dip. In fact, it was probably more than that, wasn't it? But anyway, the point is that one tweet is not enough reason for us to have seen such a huge pullback and correction in Bitcoin's price. And you notice there was a concerted effort by the media during that last week to put on as much FUD as possible. So it started off with Elon going, I don't know, I never researched Bitcoin properly before I bought it or allowed it to be used at Tesla. Some reason I didn't know that it takes energy to mine it. So now I'm going to stop accepting it. I mean, we could see through that. We could see through it straight away. It was complete bull, right? It was so obvious. A guy like Elon Musk cannot play dumb, right? So he was obviously manipulating the market. He wanted to see how much damage he could do. And he had a fair bit of an influence on that. But what really happened was that there was a lot, the market was overstretched already. And he caused basically a lot of over-leveraged positions to get liquidated because people thought the price was just going to keep on going up. And so there were a lot of people out there going 100x leverage, which means that the price doesn't have to move very much to get you liquidated. And of course, that created a chain reaction. Now, his tweet on its own probably didn't cause enough people to sell that we would have seen that bigger dip. But the effect of enough people selling because of that tweet was that it caused those high leverage positions to get liquidated. And then as soon as we started seeing Bitcoin plummet like it did, well, then the rest of the media machine jumped into action. We had all the big banks, we had JP Morgan, all of the others coming out saying all their usual spiel about how suddenly, a couple of weeks ago, JP Morgan's talking about how they're going to be offering Bitcoin to all their clients and how Bitcoin's the best thing ever. The price starts dipping and suddenly the same people from JP Morgan are on TV. They're talking about how Bitcoin is going to go to 10K and that the market's over. Well, why do they do that? Because, of course, they saw blood and they wanted more. They've used this as the perfect opportunity to accumulate more Bitcoin. And, retail was stupid enough to let them have it. And unfortunately, even some people who should have known better probably sold during this drop as well. But, yes, it's mainly because of the over-leveraged positions getting liquidated that it caused that chain reaction. Let's see. Also, Classborn points out Rug Boys, Vitalik, and Elon. Yes, so Vitalik Buterin had a part in that too when he decided to dump all of his dog coins that he didn't want to keep hold of. So that made sense as well. But there was also the FUD from China. So it all kind of a concerted effort to try and get the price of Bitcoin down as far as it could go. And I can tell you that from experience and from the job I'm doing at the moment, I can't tell you specifics about obviously what I know through the job, but I can tell you there's, there are institutions that are still coming in and buying Bitcoin. They were buying it even when it was red across the board, okay? These are people with big funds, $100 million funds coming in and buying Bitcoin up because to them, that correction was perfect opportunity to buy. Okay, if they, especially for newer companies or newer funds, because let's face it, Bitcoin and the crypto market are becoming more institutionalized, and we're seeing much more actual funds and brokers coming in from traditional market spaces into crypto, and they're rushing in. So as soon as they see an opportunity to get a good price on it, they're taking it. So let's jump in and let's talk about some of the stuff that actually backs up all of this. Now, Classborn, you point out there about Tesla selling Bitcoin for profits in Q1. That's true, but their actual sell-off happened way before this dump, but it was the news of them selling that also caused a bit of concern in the market. Yes, so there is all of that stuff to consider for sure. Um, Richie says, "Oh, don't get me started on Doge, James. It's my favorite poop coin in the world. I mean, like, we can pull our hair out together on that one, Richie. And some of my friends will tell you that I bought a huge chunk of Doge. It was just before Christmas as a joke, because the price was starting to pump. I bought a big chunk of it, and then, I mean, I'm talking sort of, must have been about 1.5 million of them, I think, for a laugh. But I mean, it was pumping. I could see I was going to make some profit. And I did. I sold them and made profit. But I sold them well before it got to 65 cents. And if I'd held on, that would have been a nice little chunk of cash that I would have then instantly put over to Bitcoin or Ethereum. Obviously you miss out on these things sometimes. But we've got a bit of an opportunity now. Obviously not for Doge. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be touching Doge. And Nadir's asking if I remember the chart for Doge. I do, Nadir. Yeah, you made me look at Doge against Bitcoin. You were like, "Look at this, James. It's gonna go. It's gonna go." And I was like, "Yeah, it looks interesting, Nadir." I'm like, "But I'm not going to touch Doge. Fuck that." Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and Richie did the same. Exactly. Nadia, you should be running the show here, mate. If you see any more coins like that, Nadia, you let me know before. But we're actually blessed in a way. We've got another opportunity. Look, it's the end of the month. Payday's coming up, and we're still at pretty decent entry level prices for a lot of these coins. Don't FOMO into it today. Don't go get your credit cards out and start buying it up, because right now we're going to see volatility. We probably might see a little bit ranging for most of these coins over the next few days, maybe even a week. But we will be heading back into that bull run pretty soon. I'm pretty certain. But don't FOMO in, because we're not going to be shooting off just yet. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow. We've got a few days, I think, before it actually proper lifts off again. So look at it as an opportunity to find some of those coins that we missed out on because, we were looking at other stuff. And, I'll be happy to hear what your suggestions are as well as to what we should be looking at, because there was plenty that I didn't look at before that just went sort of insane. So yes, obviously not Sheeb, because Sheeb, well, Doge will probably do well again eventually, but I'm not going to touch it anymore. I can't be bothered. It's too much effort. It hurts too much. Now, what I'm going to say is the stuff going on in the market that makes me pretty bullish about things. Okay, so we talked about what caused this. Nadir saying maybe 8,000%. MIR. Okay, well, I might look into that one after this video tonight, guys, and see what that looks like. It sounds, 8,000% sounds almost too good to be true, but last bull run, we saw some of that. Now, there is some really interesting stuff going on that makes me think that we could see, right, Bitcoin head beyond 100k this cycle, okay? You might think that that's insane, right? You might think, now 100k, that's a pretty good target. And you're right, it's a great target, but there is a chance that this information from Glassnode, the on-chain metrics that they've got and they've been sharing, could indicate that Bitcoin could go a lot higher this cycle. And that we are, you know, as you saw on Twitter, what we shared on the CryptoPig Twitter was the market bubble or market cycle diagram, and everybody was saying last week that we were in the sort of denial phase, right? Maybe we are really in denial, but the data doesn't really support that. And in fact, it makes it look like we're actually at the very, very beginning of the bull market cycle, and we're in the sort of bear trap section of that cycle. I wonder if I don't know, I probably haven't got the diagram to hand, but maybe I can open it over here. Hold on, let's see. Let me grab it up to show you what I mean. Here we go, I've got it. So let me bring it over to show you guys. Okay, so a lot of people are saying in this psychology of market cycle that we are already now here at the complacency section, or around here, you know. We've had the pump, now it's dumped, and we're going to maybe head back up. We'll hit some resistance, and then we're going to head back down, and that's it, right? We're back to square one, okay? Now, with us, the actual data that I'm going to share with you in a minute from Glassnode makes it look like we're actually down here still. This is where we are, okay? We have just gone past the hope bit, and we're actually we're maybe about to go on a parabolic run to euphoria. And I mean, if you have a look at it, this is where was this? Back in August, I can't even read the bottom of the screen, 19? Is they called disbelief. You look there, that's where that is here, okay? So that would make sense, right? We had our pump up and we've gone, you know, we've ranged because we didn't have a lot of top this time around on Bitcoin. So that's why we think we're here. And that means that 100k is, well, we're going to go beyond 100k, and 100k will probably be here. Optimism. We may be looking at a lot higher than 100k. Now, I know I probably sound like a complete crazy person. Echoing, am I? Let me have a look. Audio is in echo mode. Maybe it's the tab from your browser with your live stream. Oh, it could be. Let me have a look. Sorry, guys, if I'm echoing. Let me have a look and see what I can do to fix that. I've muted myself on all of those, actually, guys. I shouldn't be echoing. I bet it's probably something to do with XSplit. Okay, maybe I'll close that and just see. Maybe it's that tab making it happen. You have to repeat the scene. What do I mean? Look at the chat. Oh, I'm laughing actually. Funny voice, weirdly soothing says CZ Art. Did that just voice like a robot? Did that just kick in just a second ago, or has that been the whole video? Is it something I've just done that's caused it to do that? Maybe I can fix it. I know what it is. I bet it's desktop audio. Oh yeah, there's two audios of me. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's two audio streams. I'm sorry, guys. That's what it is. Just when I went to the web browser. Is that better now? I bet that's better now, isn't it? You can hear me but not hear the echo. Oh, guys, what a shambles my live stream is. Oh dear. Yep, I have two audio streams. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I just looked. It's because I haven't done this for ages. All of the problems that we had before are all back because I've not been looking after things. So because of the echo, was that quite difficult to hear what I was saying? Do you want me to just quickly repeat that, and I'll do it super fast? Just glad to hear what you have to say. Brilliant. Okay, cool. Let me just give you that again if that was a bit unclear because of the echo. We'll get it sorted. I won't have the echo next time round. We're going to do more live streams. Sorry. We should do them all the time. You'll get fed up with me. We'll do so many of them. Let me do that again with where we were. Okay. Richie's comment is gold. Yep. It says Twitch Pro right here, guys. Like and subscribe. So professional. I know. I appreciate how professional my stream is. You know, the problem. This is the thing, right? You can throw money at stuff. You can buy a nice camera. You can buy nice microphones, and lights and all the rest of it, and have no clue what you're doing, and completely look like an idiot. And that's what's happened. Right, now I've sorted that out, embarrassingly. Let's try and explain what I was explaining there for you. So, guys, I apologise. Let's just very, very quickly do this bit one more time so you know what I'm going on about. All right, so we have got... Oh, right, so yeah, let's now I'm sorted. I know what I'm doing now. Okay, so what I'm saying is a lot of people, once we hit 60k, and then we obviously sort of started coming back down, a lot of people were panicking and saying, that's it, we hit euphoria, and the market's over, this is where we are now. And if we see a bounce, well, we're heading to complacency, and it's just we needed, like they say here, time to cool off for the next rally. Now, of course, it could be true. That could be where we are. I won't say that there's not a possibility, but the actual on-chain metrics don't support this. And when you look at Bitcoin, in fact, we'll bring Bitcoin up now so you can see it. Let's go, actually, let's do it on Binance because I think... Here we go. All right, when you look at it, this doesn't look like a blow-off top, okay? We've, you know, you could argue that was parabolic there, or at least the beginning of a parabolic move, but this is not a blow-off top. This is, you know, this is accumulation, right? And I know that there's some really great videos that were getting shared with us on Telegram, talking about it being a Wyckoff or Wyckoff pattern, which is probably true as well. But the Wyckoff pattern doesn't mean that you're going to go back down to zero. It just means that they're going to, you know, the market leaders are going to force the price down, right? It doesn't mean they're going to force it to zero, okay? So we've not had that blow off. We've not had that blow off top that we had with the last actual parabolic run. So look at that. Okay, it went parabolic. It was, woo, yeah, excellent. We dipped down. And then you can see there it actually followed the pattern of an actual market cycle perfectly. Everybody thought, yeah, all right, we're great. We just needed some, you know, correction before going higher. But that was it. That was the end of the market, and we saw ourselves going into that bear market, right? That's what a blow-off top looks like. This is not a blow-off top, which is why, and also here is, this is the section on that that phase of the market cycle phase they call disbelief. Oh, my dog's snoring underneath the desk here, by the way. You wonder what that noise is, right? Here, disbelief, okay? That is this bit here. Matches pretty perfectly with the actual expected phases, right? So have a look here, right? If we take this model as our next cycle, this was the disbelief, right? Or this is the disbelief from last time when looking at it from this scale. But the previous, previous cycle, that was the disbelief there. And the previous cycle for us, this is where disbelief is. We're only here, I think, guys, hope, where we've got this kind of, cumulative phase with the dip, and look where it dips. It dips sort of around 50% by the looks of it, and then it goes parabolic. So if this is true, and we shared this on Twitter, by the way, for you guys, if this is true, then 100k Bitcoin is not, in fact, our target for this cycle, right? 100k is probably going to be here when we get to optimism. And then we get another massive pullback and then head up to an even higher price target. You're probably thinking I'm crazy, right? But actually, have a look at it. Yeah? Our disbelief phase is here. It's this tiny, on the other chart, it's this tiny bit here, pretty much. Right? I think we've got a long way to go, guys, and I'm going to show you the evidence for that now. So hopefully that made sense now that you can actually hear what I'm saying. And Paul's saying that, remember those first few live streams and technical difficulties you endured? Those were some of my some of the best memories. Thanks for your perseverance. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, mate. Oh dear. CZ saying, being aware of how institutions move is going to be so important. Definitely is. And I think that's one of the insights that I've got with my current role, is just seeing how many institutions are coming into this space, looking to put so much money in. We have them coming in and they're talking about just testing the waters. And when they're testing the waters, they're not testing it with $1 million. They're testing it with huge sums of money, which means that they're probably willing to put in even more eventually, right? So I do think that Bitcoin is going to go way beyond 100k, probably even beyond 150k, to be honest, which is probably why institutions are still buying up even now, because they still think Bitcoin is undervalued. So let's go and quickly take a look. So that was the market phase we're in. We are just in the early stages of the market phase right now, guys. We're in hope, and that is, that's where we are right now with that dip. And as you can see there, it's going to probably be a little bit choppy for a few, for a few days, maybe a few weeks before we finally get pumping again and really get moving on this exciting cycle that we're in. And this one is different from every other one because the mainstream adoption is here, right? We are getting so many companies getting involved in the space. There are more and more places you can go to buy Bitcoin and store it and all the rest of it, as well as all the other cryptocurrencies that's starting to get more attention. The one thing I've noticed is funds are really super excited about DeFi, okay? Which means Ethereum has got a long way to go price-wise. I think Ethereum 20k is so easy. I just don't think people realize how easy it's going to be for it to get there, okay? Because right now Ethereum is the sort of best platform for DeFi there is, because the products are there, right? You've got all of the best protocols. Now, Binance Smart Chain is getting some interest, but everybody is talking about Ethereum still, right? And when Ethereum 2.0 comes out, or one of the scaling solutions like Polygon takes over, not takes over, but becomes prominent with regards to DeFi trading, well, people are just going to stick to Ethereum. They're not going to move to other chains, or they will eventually as they try and look for other opportunities. But to start with, it's going to be all on Ethereum, guys. So Ethereum is going to get to 20k without a doubt. And probably, I know this is pretty bold, I actually think the 20k is possible this bull cycle. But then this bull cycle is going to be a little bit different from the last one in that the corrections we see are going to be a little bit more dramatic on the way up there. So yeah, I do think it's definitely possible, even though it probably makes me sound like a crazy person. But I think it's gonna, and like Class One says, them gas fees, and that's why I say it's gonna be Layer 2 and Ethereum 2.0 that are gonna help get the price of Ethereum over. And it's something I've talked about on the channel a lot though with Ethereum, is that gas fees end up being a resistance level for the price of Ethereum as well. And I think everybody's kind of seeing that correlation a bit more now, is that when the fees start getting too high, what actually happens is that we actually find Ethereum pulls back, because the driver for Ethereum's price is the utility on, well, I mean the speculative part of it, of course, but the actual utility that Ethereum has with regards to all the DeFi protocols out there. And if you are unable to use it, Well, you don't buy more Ethereum. You just wait. You end up waiting for the gas fees to go down, and we saw that with NFTs as well. The sales of NFTs drop off a cliff as those gas fees get too high. So, yeah, gas fees will be the thing that holds it back. But once we're moved past them, Ethereum is off to the sky. And yep, and Classborn says again, another really good point. You can't dollar cost average properly with gas fees. Exactly. There was a very shocking story about a guy had to pay. Now, I'm not sure if I've got the figure right because I thought I read $1,600. Somebody told me that they read it was $16,000. I'm thinking it was $1,600 in gas fees in order to actually close a position during that crash that we just had. Well, it's not really a crash, it was a correction, but technically it was a correction. But yeah, somebody spent stupid amounts of money just to be able to close a trade that they had, or a position, or I think it was liquidity actually, on one of the DeFi protocols. So yeah, it is kind of a bit insane, and that will need to be sorted out, but I think it's getting there. Which is why we saw Mark Cuban, wasn't it, who's just invested in Polygon, previously Matic. Pardon me. So, we're talking about people getting in on crypto all the time, and more people getting in on crypto. Of course, we know PayPal started letting people buy crypto. You're not really buying it, but they hold it on your behalf. Well, that's changed, and now PayPal is saying that they're going to be working on crypto withdrawals. That means that they will actually, be allowing you to buy and hold real cryptocurrencies in PayPal. That's a big deal. Another big deal, Apple have just advertised for some job roles for people who know how to build cryptocurrency wallets. So that sounds like Apple are going to maybe start looking at integrating a kind of cryptocurrency wallet into iPhones. Doesn't sound too far-fetched to me and makes sense. And actually, Christopher, great point. Scale also solves that. Scale Network is a layer 2 solution as well for Ethereum, I believe, isn't it? And yes, you're right. Scale is also a solution. And actually, they've been working on some stuff as well, because I remember actually seeing that and tweeting about it as well. They've done some pretty cool stuff. Polygon is getting all the attention, but there is one thing that I do need to point out with regards to Polygon, which is probably not a problem for Scale. Polygon is pretty centralized in regards to its node structure. Apparently, it's been revealed that 50% of nodes are being held by Polygon and Binance. So hugely centralized in regards to the control, and probably the main reason why it's so fast. If a layer 2 solution can come along that's more decentralized and is fast as well, then they will probably win over the sort of hardcore cryptocurrency fans, just because of the fact that they know it's a real decentralized protocol. I think Polygon will fix that eventually, but yeah, it's a good thing to keep in mind that Polygon is just one of many layer 2 solutions that have been worked on. There is, of course, Scale. There is, of course, Loopring, and there's Optimism. So there's loads of different ones. There's many I probably have forgotten to mention as well, but there's enough of them out there that actually we don't know which one's going to win the race. We don't know which one's going to be the one that gets the most attention in the end. Hopefully, whichever one it is properly decentralized and is safe and secure, and we're not going to have to worry about Binance controlling everything, which they may well do at this rate, with their sort of with Binance Smart Chain and all the rest of it, which is getting a lot of attention, isn't it? Nadir is mentioning Chromia as well, Super GRT. Nadir mentions TKO, thinks it's another 5,000% gainer. Maybe. I will bring up some charts in a second for you, mate. This is where I wanted to get to with the data side of stuff for you. I wanted to make sure that you saw this stuff, because this is the stuff that is making me think we're going to have really, really big, really big move in Bitcoin soon. Okay. First up, this article here is from Cointelegraph. No evidence of a 2013 double pump as no coiners buy Bitcoin dip. Now, this I thought was really interesting. Okay, so of course, Glassnode, as you guys know, because I've shown you Glassnode before, it is an invaluable resource, right? It gives you all the on-chain metrics, and yes, some of it's not easy to understand. So I see why people don't look at it all, right? But there is a lot of stuff you can learn from these metrics. And one of the things that people are talking about with Bitcoin at the moment is, well, yeah, all right, we didn't have a blow off top, so maybe what we're going to have is like 2013, where there was a double pump and we had two peaks on the price, and then it collapsed from there. Okay. Now, Willy Woo, who does a lot of stuff with the Glassnode data, points out here, key observation is that it's not looking like a 2013 double pump. It's structurally playing out like a COVID white swan, where people on the sidelines took the opportunity to come in. Other on-chain charts point to the same structure too. Now, I called it a black swan event, but they're calling it a white swan event. Either way, basically, what's happening here is that once we saw that big dip, the actual biggest number of purchases in this dump were actually from people who actually held no coins previously whatsoever in their address. So it was brand new people coming into crypto. And, anecdotally, I can say that that's probably true. I've been talking to my parents about buying Bitcoin since Bitcoin was literally nothing. And I remember telling them to buy it when it was $3,000 during the last market crash. And they laughed and said, oh, no. That was their attitude. Well, this week they bought their first Bitcoin. And Ethereum as well, actually, of course. My brother has been buying up crypto as well, mainly because I finally convinced them to buy some. He bought, unfortunately for him, he didn't listen to me and bought it at the top of the previous top we just had. So he's now waiting, of course, for us to get back up there, but we will. I did tell him to wait for a pullback. But anyway, he had some money spare still because he didn't put huge amounts in last time. So he bought more this week, right? I'm just jealous because I don't have all that much fiat left on the sidelines. I've stuck all mine in. And I think I told you guys on Telegram that it was last week. I thought, when we were at 30% down, I was like, yeah, brilliant, we're here. And I bought loads of stuff. And then, of course, we went down even further. So gutting, but it's payday on Friday. So I'll see if I can get some more before the price goes too high again. But yeah, most of the buying was being done by people who had not bought Bitcoin ever before. Okay. Then alongside that were Bitcoin whales buying up. And it's saying here that in that crash, Bitcoin whales actually purchased 122,500 Bitcoin. The people who sold. Who were the people who sold, guys? I think we've talked about this before in Telegram. The data shows that the people who sold were short-term holders. People who'd only bought in the last couple of months. They were the ones with paper, celery, what's the word for it? Lettuce hands. And they panicked and sold all of their crypto. And who bought it? Of course, whales and newcomers. So that makes it very different in the respect that this was seen more like a one-off chance for people to buy even more. That, to me, is very reassuring. Okay? I think that that's very, very assuring that it's new people buying and the whales buying up as well. If it's the whales that probably helped cause part of the dump, I'm sure, but at least they are buying it up. That's a good sign that we're going to head even higher. More chat in the chat there about layer 2 solutions. We've got Christopher talking about ZK rollups like Loopring can actually run in scale as well. Yeah, I mean, scale's pretty cool actually. What was it they've been working? I'll remind myself of it and find the thing that they were doing. They've just been doing some new stuff, which was quite interesting at the time. I think they launched something recently. But it sounds like, Christopher, you're probably invested in Scale. It's definitely worth looking at. Any layer 2 solution with a good team behind it is worth looking at, to be honest with you guys, because like Vitalik said himself, even with Ethereum 2.0, layer 2 solutions are going to be required to maintain that scalability on Ethereum. And like I said, all our clients are interested in is Ethereum, well, Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. We've offered them Binance Smart Chain, but nobody's interested. They want Ethereum. So let's see what we've got. What's that? Got the deer asking for more charts to be looked at. GRT and Super. Yeah, go on. I'll have a look at GRT and Super while we're on the chat as well. Right, so let's do our last bit of the good news. This is the one that's going to make you all go out and buy Bitcoin right now, but don't do it because I'm telling you to, not financial advice. Another Bitcoin panic sell-off looming. Blockchain analytics firm Glassnode weighs in. So we can see here some really interesting information here. Now, this panic sell-off that we saw actually was pretty significant, okay? And I got the reason for it down here. Let's have a look. So Glassnode have been able to, they basically are able to tell how much of the market is in profit and how much is underwater. And they're saying here that currently this, right, so they're saying the market cap, 9 to 9.5% of the entire market cap of Bitcoin are unrealized losses, okay? Which equates to $65 billion in underwater value. That means that there are people with positions now who've bought Bitcoin who are basically, they've lost money, but they've still got their Bitcoin, right? And it's about $65 billion worth of it. If they sold now because they were worried, then obviously that would be 65 billion off of the market cap again. Would it make that big an impact? 9.5%, you would never get all of them selling in a panic anyway, right? So it probably wouldn't have as big of an impact. But the interesting thing here was more about the actual NUPL numbers that they have. So the net unrealized profit against loss metric determines whether the Bitcoin market is in a state of profit or loss, and it fell below the 0.5 level, indicating that only half of Bitcoin's market cap was in profit. So that was in that dump that we just had, right? While significant, the 0.5 NUPL area has acted as a support in previous bull runs. With the 2017 cycle, and this is the thing I wanted you to hear and understand, in the last bull run we had, during the corrections, that number, right, the actual NUPL area number, was hit 4 times before we reached the peak, okay? In this bull run so far, this last correction we had is the first and only time it's hit that level. All right? Now, it's called a market cycle because normally things follow a pattern. If that's the case, then we still have another 3 of these types of corrections to come at some point in the future. But that would indicate that the price needs to go a lot higher for us to have that kind of thing happen. So you can see here actually on their diagram the points where it's gone below that 0.5 level. And there you can see, look, this bull run, that's the first time. Okay? I think that we've got a long way to go before this bull run is over. And actually this chart here is quite, it's quite handy in that respect to see where these have happened, right? Price-wise, we've got a long way to go. Look, here, all the way up to the top. This is our first time. I mean, if you extrapolate from there... Oh dear, my dog is snoring under the desk again. If you extrapolate from there, we're going quite a way above 100k if this is, if we can, believe this data is going to play out the same sort of way. yeah, I think that it's going to be very interesting. I mean, actually, in all fairness, though, you can see there that in previous bull runs to that, 3 times the time before that, two before that. So, you know, maybe we will have 5 times this time round. Remember, there's a lot more money coming into it this time round, but there's a lot more mainstream adoption of it too. This I thought was really fascinating because if that's the case, we've got at least another 4 of these corrections to come. You want to keep your eyes out for when those corrections might be happening and then take full advantage of them because there's a lot of money that could still be made, I think, in the market right now. So that's the sort of stuff I wanted to get over to you in the actual sort of data side of stuff. Hey, Cactus Brad's in the chat. Hey, Cactus, how you doing, mate? Glad to have you there. Who else we got? What else we got? People talking about. Nadir's asking, quick one: is crypto fear and greed index useful? I believe that it is. It's good just to get a sort of idea of what is going on. In fact, let's have a quick look at that because we haven't looked at that together for a while. Index, let's go for it. Oh no, that's CNN. I don't want to look at CNN. I hate CNN. Let's go to our usual and let's bring it over for everyone to see. All right, check it out, guys. Here we go. So this is the Fear and Greed Index. I believe that it is, in fact, very useful. What you will know is that when we get to extreme greed, not very long after that, we see the market take a bit of a correction. And then when we get to extreme fear, not too long after that, we get basically the opposite. We get a pump in the market. And I think it is. I think it's. I think it's a good indicator of at least where most people are mentally with regards to Bitcoin. It takes in loads of different factors. I've forgotten what they all were, but it does look at things like social media, but it also looks at different technical indicators as well. And you see here that the Fear and Greed Index right now has come back up. It did go as low as 10. Which makes sense because we were probably at the bottom of the market there, or bottom of the pullback correction, and everybody was kind of like thinking that we were going to go even further down. But you can see there that we are coming back up a little bit. It wouldn't be surprising if we see the Fear and Greed Index remain around here for the next few days to a week. Like I said, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to pump up super fast. In fact, there might even be a little bit more of not a dip, like a real hard dip, but there might be a bit more of a pullback just as we head up. We'll look at the chart for that in a second. But I think we're probably going to hold around this sort of level now, and we'll probably see Fear and Greed look the same too, and then it'll be time to sort of think about, well, you should really be, no, not financial advice, but if you haven't been buying in now while the price has been this low, you're probably missing out on an opportunity, in my opinion. That's always my opinion, not financial advice. But, when you're in fear, that's usually when you want to be buying. And when it's in super greedy is when you want to be looking at selling out. Always sell when it's green and buy when it's red is the kind of rule you have to stick to. Cactus said his portfolio is flaccid. Yeah. Yes. Well, it's a sort of a market-wide phenomenon, isn't it? Right now. But like I was saying earlier in the stream, anybody who was lucky enough to have some money spare earlier this week is up 50% on a lot of coins. So it's been good for some very lucky people that had money spare. But talk about timing, you get through the whole COVID thing where we spend all our money and and then of course when nobody has any money left because they've had to get through the whole COVID lockdowns is when the prices are good for buying. It's typical. Cactus says, after such a firm beginning to Q2, I'm underperforming. Unfortunately, there's no medication for this kind of problem. Oh dear. What have we got in YouTube comments? Bill, do I like Algorand? I love Algorand. I think Algorand's amazing. There's a trade-off there. Algorand is slightly more centralized with regards to its kind of node structure, and but I do think it's a fantastic project. I know the team behind Algorand. I've talked to them. They are brilliant people. I have friends who have built on Algorand, and they've told me that it is a fantastic platform to build with. So, no, I do really like Algorand. I think that Algorand is going to do well. Christopher is asking if I'm streaming on another platform. I am, because you're probably wondering where these other comments are coming from, aren't you? I'm also streaming on Twitch at the same time, Chris, which is why I keep looking over to another screen going, replying to people that you don't... oh dear, that you're wondering who I'm talking to. Dear. So yes, do I wash sell? What do you mean by wash sell? As in, do I try and flub the market? Is that what you mean? Because no, I don't do anything illegal. I never would, because I don't fancy the idea of being arrested for market manipulation. I'm not big enough to market manipulate, unfortunately. To sell and buy back in instantly and report a loss. No. Oh, it's legal, is it? Then I will start. If that works for tax purposes, then yeah, maybe. I'll take a look at it. Cheers. If it is illegal, though, I've just got myself into trouble. Oh, dear. Brad's moved over to YouTube. Nice one, Brad. Yes. You prefer YouTube to Twitch. I like both. I think they're both good for different things. Cactus puts in the chat there. Keep this between us, lol. A bit late now. Right. Let's go to the charts now, guys, because I've been talking about the underlying data, what's going on. If you missed a bit of it, Brad, I'm afraid. But I was basically talking about the key observations from Glassnode with regards to the market and what happened. That the actual way that dump occurred looked more like, they're calling it a white swan. We, I think on the channel, have always called them black swan events. But basically they're saying that it was seen more like the whole COVID-19 dump that we had last year, where people used it as an opportunity to get in, who had not had a chance to buy before. And so, yes, people were buying up. In fact, the majority of buyers were no coiners who had no actual crypto in their wallets prior. They were the ones buying up this last dip. As well as whales, of course, who bought 122,500 Bitcoin. So that's one of the things I wanted to say. It's a little recap for everybody, I guess. And then the other thing was that it's very unlikely that we're going to see another big panic sell-off. And this was to do with the net unrealized profit loss metric, which 0.5 apparently has acted as a support in previous bull runs. And the price of, or the actual NUPL number, has actually only ever gone or touched or gone below the 0.5 line and 0.5 level 4 times in the previous bull run. This is the first time it's done it in this bull run, which to me indicates that you could look there, it was 2 times first time, 3 times then, 4 times. If things extrapolate from there, we will see maybe another 4 corrections like this on our way to the top. And if we look at the actual growth in the price, with another 4 to go, we're looking at well beyond 100k per Bitcoin. Now, I don't know what the market cap would have to be, but with the amount of people coming into the space, I actually think that well beyond 100k is definitely possible, even in this cycle. And I said also as well, Brad, which you missed, I think Ethereum could go to 20k this cycle. And I know that would probably make me sound like a crazy person, but the amount of people I speak to, I hear from at work, who are on about wanting to trade DeFi on Ethereum, the number is massive. And we're not talking individuals, we're talking big hedge funds, big companies, brokers, traders, you name it, people from gold and silver wanting to get into crypto. It's all happening. They're all wanting to get in on it now. So and they're all interested in Ethereum. So I think that Ethereum could definitely go that high. Right, but let's look at the charts and see where we're going in the meantime. Oh yeah, and yes. Also, Paul points out there another thing to recap is extreme fear equals extreme buy. Load up those bags. Okay, so let's go to our charts now. Brad saying back to the OG roots. That's it. Live streams. I'm enjoying it. 32 Chan said the dump is because aliens plan on making CZ spend all his liquid fiat on turtle. Well, why are we hearing about UFOs all the time now, guys? The Pentagon are no longer denying their existence. It's because Elon Musk is one of the aliens. Explains why he keeps trying to dump Bitcoin. Sorry, Classborn. Classborn's got to run. But we'll see us next time. Definitely catch up with us later, mate. Awesome. Christopher says, I remember you said previously that you think the bull market was ending prematurely, but this is quite the contrast. Yeah, I did have a blip. I will admit it, Chris. I did start to doubt myself. I was in a dark place where I did think, maybe, I think we were probably, here, maybe. Were we probably around here, I reckon? And we'd kind of found resistance there a couple of times. I was worried we were seeing a double top. So yeah, maybe I was feeling a bit like, things are slowing down. But it's this other stuff that I've seen that like I say, the Glassnode stuff to me really kind of reinforces for me that we're okay, right? That we have actually got much further to go than I anticipated. And the fact that this all kind of looked very manipulated to me means that somebody's going to be buying this up. I think that the good news there is that our next correction is not going to be as low as 29k, I don't think. And when this cycle is over, we will not come back down to this level again, I don't think, because we will be that much higher that even with a big retracement, we shouldn't come back down to this sort of level. Hopefully not, anyway. So, yes. Let's see. Brad says, I'm in total agreement. Would really like the 1 week candle to reclaim the 21 MA on Sunday. However, even if Bitcoin fails to reclaim it, just like in 2017, I believe F pumps and believe the market cap of F will flip Bitcoins. 50% correction changes a man. Yeah, yes, it does. It does have that effect on people, doesn't it, mate? So let's take a look at the charts, because we better sort of get into this and see what's going on, because I know that I've been talking for a while and I want you to all, be able to hear what I've got to say and not be sort of having to run off to do other stuff. You see what I mean about the fact that we didn't have a blow off top. It was literally accumulation, and it does match that Wyckoff pattern that people have been sharing a lot of. And you can see that we're all right in the stochastic RSI. We're not overbought, or we're not oversold, so that's all right. MACD obviously under that zero line, but if you have a look, it looks like we're very close to having a bullish crossover on that, which will be good. We could see that coming back towards that zero line. Maybe then that's why I think that partially we'll see this kind of range now over the next couple of days. I think that the market's still got a lot of fear in it. But if we take a look at it, and we'll probably go into the 1 hour chart to do this, I think would be best. Well, actually, hold on. If you have a look at the actual fib levels, you can see there that we went back down to the 0.786 level and bounced very nicely from there. The price is currently up over that 0.618 fib level as well, which is good. And I think that the ranging, if we have ranging now, will occur along this Fibonacci level. We've got Christopher saying, if F flips Bitcoin, can you imagine the gains Ethereum tokens we'll see? Yeah, I mean, Ethereum itself, and then probably a lot of projects built on Ethereum as well will benefit. Yeah, it's going to be mad. And that's why I say 20k Ethereum is actually doable. And the more I say it, the less crazy I feel. So I'll give you that. Oh dear. So Suzette is saying someone in Telegram noticed an inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin. Could you look at that on the 4-hour? Yep, we can definitely look at that on the 4-hour chart. Let's go for it. So on the 4 hours, let's see, where is the... let's do this. Are they suggesting that we're looking at what? This kind of pattern? Have I missed it? Is that what they mean? It's possible. The only thing is with these kind of patterns, guys, with the things like the head and shoulders pattern, you kind of really want them on the longest time frame you can see them. Just because they tend to be a little bit more accurate. So, like, if this was on the daily candles, I'd be like, yeah, definitely reverse head and shoulders looks good. The fact that it's on the 4 hours means that you probably wouldn't put as much weight to the pattern, but certainly I could see why people would say that there's possibly a head and shoulders pattern there. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, it looks possible, but don't weight it too heavily in your decision making, only because anything on a shorter time scale is less reliable. That's all. But certainly that could be a head and shoulders pattern, and it could play out. And the reason I say that as well is because I saw somebody say that there was a cup and handle somewhere on one of the really short time frames. I think it was on 1 hour, and I was like, no, that won't work. Not on a 1 hour time frame. I think it was even here. Somebody went, you just see what I mean? Somebody went, oh look, cup and handle. And I'm like, no, not really. Not on a 1 hour time frame, guys. Although, it does actually look like one. Maybe we've got a mini cup and handle there. But actually, if that was your cup and handle pattern, you wouldn't want it to be anyway, because usually the movement is the height. When you get a breakout on a cup and handle pattern, the actual movement will be from the bottom of your cup to the top of it. So the breakout from this would only be 15%. Which do you see what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, that might be true, but it might be true on this scale, yeah, not on the sort of, I keep doing that, keep getting V, but not on the sort of scale that we want to be worried about. But what we can do is we can draw in some lines, because I always say it's best to start with any sort of trend lines, because trend lines tend to be pretty reliable on all time frames. So let's have a little look at what we've got. You could probably argue that there is a channel, perhaps. Let's have a look. So you could argue that we were in a downward channel. Let's have a look at it here. I know it's a bit rough. I'm just doing it for illustration purposes, okay, guys? But you could argue that there was a channel here. Yeah, I mean, that does look like a descending channel. Nadir wants to know a little bit about Shib Inu. We can maybe cover that in a minute. Then we can maybe cover Shib Inu in a minute. Shib is not looking too great, but it's a meme coin that will probably do all right. Brad is saying to zoom out to January 2021 for the head and shoulders. And we're talking on the 1 day time frame. And we're talking... Where are we looking? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, that could be true, couldn't it? Just trying to make me feel miserable. Let's have a look. We're saying that this could be our head and shoulders pattern, and it's not a reverse head and shoulders pattern, it's a real head and shoulders. Thanks, Brad. It's possible. It's possible. Does this look like it's a shoulder yet? All right, well, okay. Well, thanks. I was feeling good today. Now you just made me feel miserable. I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case, mate. But the deer's like, no, not possible. Well, you saw it first on Crypto Pig, guys. That's it. The market's over. Forget it. We're going home. Oh dear. Chris says, I don't know why I get so apprehensive about short-term buy-in prices, especially when these prices will be negligible in the future. I suppose that's true, and even like if you think about it, in the last bull run, people who bought at 20k, they bought at the top at that time, and of course that there is a reason why you probably worry about the short term, because for a good year and a bit, actually was it 2 years, they actually they're actually waiting for the price to get up above where they bought in. But you're right, if they'd held, that would have been negligible, right? It would have made no difference. It was just the amount of time they held for. Because they're still in profit even today. So it is a fair point, but I think it's a psychological problem, and people probably don't have diamond hands. Nadir says, you can draw ears and eyes on that chart. It's, oh no. Look. It's confirmed. It's a head and shoulders pattern, everybody. Oh man, can you imagine? Well, okay. With that little bit of sobering kind of charting there, pattern recognition. Yes, there's potential that this could be a massive head and shoulders. It looks like Casper cartoon. I should have made it an NFT. There is actually, it's a good point you bring up, Brad. That could be a head and shoulders pattern on the bigger time scale. I'm hoping it's not. Let's see. If it is a head and shoulders, we probably need to really be careful of the 42, 43k level. So, with that said then, if we don't break above that 0.382 fib level and we come down again, then maybe it's time to panic. Okay, at least in the short term, or the medium term even, because actually that kind of pullback would take a while to recover from, for sure. I'm not convinced that that's something we need to worry about just yet. I think Brad's just being too much of a realist. I can understand that. I can get that. But yeah, maybe it's a head and shoulders pattern when we zoom out on that sort of scale. But I'm going to try and stay positive for the time being. On the 1 hour time frame, we are, of course, in the oversold territory on the stochastic RSI. It looks like it might range here, which means that the price will probably range as well for a little while. The actual MACD is over the zero line, but there's been a bearish crossover. All this is on short time frames, guys, so this is not, long-term trend line or anything, long-term movement. We're talking over the next couple of days. We're probably going to see some ranging. Let's get back in here to have a look at this channel. And I'm going to try to remain happy and positive, despite having looked at that. Richie's damn it, Cactus Brad. Exactly. Oh dear. CZ saying, if we see confirmation, probably bad news, bears there. Yeah, okay. I mean, but we'll see. If we don't get over that level and we get rejected, then yes, we probably need to be not pessimistic, but in risk management mode. Okay. If we can stay on the positive side of things, though, on the 1 hour time frame, we obviously saw this downward this descending channel that we were in. We broke out from that. We have effectively tested that and now continued up. Pardon me. Consider that we are now coming back over that fib level. I think that we're going to see some ranging here before we actually see the price head back up, because normally what you'll see is with these breakouts, we get that retest, and then hopefully it should kind of head back up. We do need to bear in mind that there's going to be resistance, at least sort of on the short-term resistance, wherever we've kind of found these tops. Our main sort of levels to worry about are, of course, going to be up here at, well, let's put, when you look at it actually, if you think about it, what was it we said, 42, 43? Well, that's probably actually going to be where we need to kind of start to worry about it again, because that's in line with that previous shoulder that Brad pointed out. So if that's true, we want to really be watching these levels here. Okay. If we can get over there nicely, I want to see us get back up over 48k, because you can see there that this will be resistance. Support normally always flips to resistance, and we can see that we're going to probably find it tough for a little while to break through this kind of level here. I think plus 50k is going to be challenging, and what will probably end up happening is that once we get back up here, we're going to range again. Okay, but we'll probably range, and then hopefully we'll see it break out, and we will head towards that 100k level. As long as I'm right and Brad is wrong, we will be okay. But like I said, the actual on-chain metrics support the idea that we are not at the end of this bull run. Of course, manipulation of the market may have some, maybe the thing that causes the actual price to go down. So we've got to consider all these factors. But with Bitcoin, we need to get ourselves up over that fib level, so we're above 34k, 44k, sorry. And then it's going to be a case of breaking back up into that 50 to 60 range. We'll probably see some ranging, and then we should hopefully see a breakout from there and a continuation of the actual bull run. If we do fail from here, then we're probably going to be looking at support at 32k again. It provided decent enough support just now for us, so it probably end up being support again. And then from there, we would have to kind of zoom back out to our one-day chart to see where our next level of support would be. But after 32k, which of course ties in pretty much with our fib levels, we will be heading back down probably to around 26. That's, that is worst case scenario. I am not convinced that we're going to see this is an actual head and shoulders pattern, but you have to be realistic. You have to keep an eye on what's going on in the charts, and patterns have been pretty good indicators for Bitcoin. It does seem to follow a lot of them, especially on the macro scale. So we will need to definitely be wary of that. 42k, as CZ says, is possibly a bull trap, yeah. Which is why I say I want to see us break above that. That would be where I'd feel more sort of happy. And Chris makes the right point here, I think. He says, I refuse to believe so many big-time investors would just enter to ride a final wave. Big money movers know how this works. They get advice and info from some of the highest intellectuals. And you're right, they'll have quants on their payrolls that will do the math. They'll look at all the charts. They'll be looking at Glassnode, seeing who's buying and who's selling. The people selling this last time, they were the newest people into the market. That I take a lot of comfort in, because it means that they're people who are new to it, haven't got as much invested, or they might have more money invested. I'm not saying about the money, but they haven't invested as much of themselves into this space as a lot of us. And they haven't really committed to crypto. It's just they've seen it and thought this is a good thing for us to stick money into. The institutions are buying up. These guys will not risk huge amounts of capital if they haven't done a thorough risk analysis of the market. They obviously believe that Bitcoin is thoroughly undervalued right now, even at the moment, and even back at 60k we saw whales buying then. they are probably laughing at the fact that they were able to pick up 122,000 bitcoins so cheaply after only a few weeks ago they were at 64k nearly. So I think that we are not at the end of the market. If we saw this, I'd say we're at the end of the market. This looks nothing like that. It's a very, very different pattern, very different play out. Yeah, it ties in more with the Wyckoff idea, but even then, if it is Wyckoff, the fact that it's a Wyckoff pattern doesn't mean it's going to go to zero. Doesn't mean it's going to be back to bear market. It just means that it's been manipulated so that they can buy as much as they can, which is why if this is the pattern that we're in, I will probably continue to hodl because it will not be long for it to get back up and beyond. I think we're probably going to range there for a few days, guys. So we have got an opportunity there. Okay, now let's quickly jump on over to Ethereum now, and then I'll do the other charts as quickly as possible because we've kind of spent a lot of time on Bitcoin, which hopefully people have. What am I doing? Ethereum Classic. Ethereum. Let's go. Hopefully people enjoyed that and appreciated it. Ethereum now is looking slightly different. So, okay. Let's go and take a look. And let's get rid of that because that's no longer relevant, is it, James? Okay. So, where are we now with Ethereum? Okay, guys, so let's draw in some trend lines and let's take a look at this one. So, it's gonna look trash, but let's just go with it for a second. Let's try and do a trend line of some sort here. Okay. It's a trash trend line, but you get my point. Okay, and then obviously we're now, maybe I'm better off on a different time frame actually, so we can do this properly. Let's go with the 4 hours to do this. There we go. Oh, I'm drawing still. I don't know. Trend line's trash, but just ignore it. The point is it's just to show you that we were on a trend. And then if we do it again this way as well, you see, well, that trend line's a little bit more clear, isn't it, at least? So the bearish trend line that we were on, and now we can kind of see where we've broken out and kind of retested it, but not properly. But we've broken out from this bearish move here. Let's bring in some support and resistance levels. Let's change the color up. Where's my options? Oh, can't find anything on the screen. It's because we're doing it live. Okay, right. Let's take a look at what our support levels are at the moment. Oh, there's the thing. Let's change this. Support. And what's our long-term support? So long-term support, is it that low? No, I guess you could probably say actually it's probably around here at 1955. Okay, so those are our support levels at the moment. Let's get in some resistance levels as well. Obviously, you can see straight away we're finding resistance here at the moment at around 2934. Let's make that red because that makes sense. We will probably, of course, see resistance, I would say, here as well, because it provided resistance back there. Okay, right, with our trend lines in, let's go and take a look and see what we're expecting then for Ethereum. Okay, let me also check how you guys are doing. Richie M says hello. Hello to Tokyo. Hey Tokyo, how you doing, mate? Glad you could join us. Oh dear, it's good to see the old gang getting back together. I'm gonna be doing more live streams. That's the plan. More live streams. We're gonna be doing more of these because I feel bad that I wasn't doing any. I am doing very well, mate. I'm doing very well. I'm just glad to have a good chat with you guys. I was feeling pretty guilty about not doing live streams, mainly because Richie made me feel pretty bad about it because he did tweet me saying, "Yeah, I'm still paying for a Twitch subscription. You haven't been on here for a long time, but now I'm back. I'm glad I'm back, and it's good to see everybody here as well." And it's good because we're getting to look at a lot of stuff and what the market's doing. Short end of it is I'm feeling pretty damn bullish about things, and I'm feeling bullish about things. Brad is trying to make me feel not so bullish about things by showing me that there may be a massive head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin, but I'm still staying pretty bullish. There's a lot of data that suggests that Bitcoin is going to go higher, and that this was just a tiny step on the way to being super rich. And I won't go into it all again, Tokyo, because I have shown people twice, but this is the psychology of the market cycle, and people this week were saying that we were here and that this is where we're going to go. And I'm saying, no, actually, we're here. And that's where we're going. So you can see there's a lot more money to be made, I think, in crypto, and we shouldn't be worried about it yet. So with regards to Ethereum, however, what's happening in the short term? So we have had a nice breakout from the descending trend line. We haven't quite retested that trend line, but you can see that we have actually kind of found support at around $2,370 and continued with something of an uptrend on the 4 hours at least. Now, will this continue up like that? Probably not over the short term, as in, I mean over the next several hours or whatever. But let's see. I think what we'll probably find is we're going to probably find resistance here at around 2.9 and possibly some ranging. It wouldn't surprise me that we range between now 2,900 and then the support here of 2,350. Like I said, if you look at the overall market, Bitcoin itself looks like it's probably going to range for a few days, so it wouldn't surprise me if Ethereum did the same thing. But of course, it does depend which way it breaks from this current trend here. I think that most likely scenario is going to be that we see it kind of just bounce here for a few days, and then remember, because we're getting in towards the weekend as well, payday is coming. People who wanted to buy it, now this is the other point I made earlier, remember, who was it who bought up most of the Bitcoins that were on sale this month? It was, of course, no coiners, people who've never bought Bitcoin before, and of course some whales bought up a huge chunk as well. But the point was, is the money was coming from new people in the space. Payday's coming up for a lot of people in a few days' time. If the price is still ranging around here, people are going to say, you know what? It's worth getting in now. It's worth the gamble. And so maybe what we'll find is that actually around the sort of 30th and the 1st is when we see that breakout and momentum heading up. Obviously, I'm speculating here based on what I know about who's been buying it this last week. Tokyo points out there, here's James trying to convince us to buy so his Bitcoins go up. Exactly. You got me. Somebody else asked me if I wash trade. They were worried I was manipulating the markets. It was Chris, wasn't it, who asked me about that in the chat from YouTube. But yes, I think that we're probably going to see some ranging, and then we're going to see that breakout. But these will be key levels for us, obviously, guys. We want to see ourselves hold above 2,300 because then next, of course, we are back down to 1,900, and then 1,600 becomes the next sort of support, and finally then 1,388, which would be pretty bearish for us to go down as far as that. But like I said, my my interpretation of what's going on in the market right now, with what I've seen, what I know, and what I'm seeing here, is that we're probably going to see accumulation over the next few days, and then we're going to see hopefully a breakout. Could that be the bull trap? Maybe that could be what the big whales want. Maybe they want to be just that nasty, that they want as many new no coiners to come in so that they can drive the price up a little bit higher, and then force it down again and just put everybody off of buying Bitcoin and crypto ever again, so they can keep it all for themselves. We did say, just like we said with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's got a pretty crucial level coming up at 42k. If we don't break over 42k, then it's quite possible that we're in a bull trap there, and we'll see some more pullback. For Ethereum, however, the difference here is that actually, once we're up over 4,300, we're in uncharted territory. So if we can break above that, then it's pretty bullish for Ethereum, and back to the bull run for it, of course. But key levels to watch out for, of course, are basically 2,900 to then 3,500. So we're going to keep an eye on those levels. If we can break through them, great. Let's just see if we can stay above them as well. But like I said, accumulation over here for this. And kind of the reason I say accumulation is kind of backed up a little bit more by the other metrics here as well. Obviously, we've had a bearish crossover on our 54-hour periods and the 200. I just realised because this is 4 hours, that will be, that won't be quite the sort of effect. So let's have a look here on the 1 hour to see that. It's probably better to look at it there. It saves me having to do math. So here we've got the 50, actually on the 1 hour it's not looking too bad. We did have a bearish crossover on the 50 hour and the 100 hour moving averages, and we're about to have another crossover, a bullish one on there. On 1 hour, stochastic RSI is just gone from over sort of sold into neutral. MACD is well above the zero line, looking out on that 4 hour time frame as well. Reason I think ranging over the next few days, we were over bought and heading down, and MACD looks like it's about to have a bearish crossover possibly there, although it's on the right side of the zero line. So yeah, probably looking at some ranging volumes as well, looking pretty steady. So I'm pretty comfortable with Ethereum right now. I think it's going to range for a little bit. Let's go to our next one, which will be FTT, because I promised that one to Richie. Now, I haven't really done any research into FTT. I don't know what FTT is about, Richie, but I promised I'd look at it for you. And I owe you one, so we're going to take a look at this one. And I'm assuming this is a fairly new coin, or it's new to TradingView anyway, because we're looking at, oh no, I suppose it's not that new, August 2019. So it's not one I've heard about though. So I don't know anything about this coin, so I am going literally off of the charts. And like most coins, actually it was doing pretty well. It was doing pretty well throughout 2019, 2020. It was bullish. While a lot of coins were kind of either stagnant or on the decline. So that is pretty good going anyway. And obviously, like most coins around December, January, it had its kind of breakout as the market kind of went into bull mode. And you can kind of see there on the 1 day, actually it works on the 1 day on this chart. I can get my support support line in there. You can see there that actually it was pretty bullish, and then obviously it has broken down with this last, this black swan event, as they call it, with Bitcoin dumping. But with regards to that dump, it seems to have been pretty resilient. Let's bring in the Fibonacci retracement tool. Oh, wrong tab. And let's have a little look. So the breakout pretty much here. Okay. And so this one didn't pull back quite as hard as some of the other coins out there. It did make it as far back as, it tried for the 0.786 level. But we are on this one back up over the 0.5 level, which is good. And that ties in there with support that it found back in March, as well as resistance, of course, on its way up back in February. So that's pretty good going. In fact, I like it because I like it when the price movements follow the fibs quite well. In fact, if I was more accurate with where I placed the beginning of this as well, probably actually, yeah, see, it matches up even better when you're actually accurate with these things. And you can see there actually, where it really found support was on that 0.618 level. Again, this one on the macro view here of the the daily candles, it looks like we're probably in for some ranging on it. It's going to hopefully stay above the 0.5 level, and the next level of resistance is going to be about $42. But once it breaks through that $42, I think that it's probably going to find it quite easy to get back to its sort of all-time high, and it will find resistance definitely between $59 and $64. But you're not. It's not looking too bad, actually. And it will depend on how long Bitcoin is like it is right now, because obviously it does always go Bitcoin, Ethereum, then mid caps, and then small caps. And I'm assuming FTT is a small cap. So this one will be one of the sort of last to move. So that's why I imagine you're probably going to see some ranging now before it does pump. As long as nothing else bad happens in the market, and this project is, like I said, I don't know anything about the project itself, Richie, but you might have put some comments, then there's a good reason, as long as it's a decent project, there's no reason why this one shouldn't recover along with the rest of the market. It was definitely looking very, very good prior to the sell-off on Bitcoin. It's got some momentum there, obviously. And if you're interested in it as well, Richie, you don't tend to go for shitcoins. So I'm assuming that this one is probably not too bad, mate. But yeah, like I say, if you look at it, stochastic RSI as well, it is looking like it will probably be. Yeah, I think this one looks like it is probably going to go back into recovery. Certainly on the 1 day, you haven't had a bearish, a bearish crossover of your moving averages. There was quite a lot of volume in it when it dumped. So we'll see. I reckon we want to see the volume sort of steady out now over the next few days, see it range, and then I imagine as soon as it gets to the altcoins turn to start pumping, this one will get back on track. So there you go. And then the last one that you asked me to look at was Cake, and I will jump over to Cake now very quickly. This is Pancake Swap, guys. And if you want to buy any shitcoins, you can do it there. Right, so let me just check the comments. Richie's happy, I think. Let's see. Yep, brilliant. Okay, nice one. Let's crack into this one then. So, Pancake Swap. Pancake Swap, interesting, isn't it? Look at how this one fared compared to the rest of the market. We saw that with FTT just a second ago. Pulled back, but no big deal. Looks like it's steady now. Probably gonna range a little bit. I think we're going to see ranging with Cake to some degree as well over the next few days. I think that DeFi projects will probably pump back sooner than something like FTT, but just look at how Pancake has not been that resilient during that Black Swan event. You can see, in fact, it's kind of not a great thing to see that in that event it did pretty much almost 100% pull back to the sort of, to the beginning of this chart, right? And there'll be some people very pleased that they were able to buy it at $9.40 when literally days ago it was going for $41. So the one thing I would point out though is that PancakeSwap's not going anywhere. It's not going to be a project that dies. So this, to me, all of this is good sort of entry levels for PancakeSwap. My only concern would be is if the market does do any more of a dip. Let's say that what Brad said earlier about Bitcoin is true, or that the Wyckoff pattern is going to play out. Well, how much further could it go? I mean, that's kind of our last support level there, guys. Which means that if we go much lower and we don't find super strong support there on that one, then it could go a hell of a lot lower. Now, I don't think that that's very likely, but of course we are at kind of the mercy of Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, because they do drive the market. I think that we're much more likely to actually see ourselves range now and then pump up, right? Especially with a project like Cake, because at the end of the day, DeFi is massive. Like I told you, everybody is wanting to get in on it. So this scenario is very unlikely, but I just want it to be considered because, of course, we have to ask these questions. Where's our next support? Where's our next resistance level? So it has to be kind of kept in mind there, right? And of course, Pancake's not that old, so we don't know where it'll find support beyond that level because we just don't have the information. Clearly, we're going to see some resistance coming around here at around $27, $28. It was, it was resistance in April, and again, at the end of April, and support just before we had the breakdown. I guess you could probably argue, you could say that this would be support here as well, between here, because that does look pretty decent. Let's pop that in there. So we have got support level at $15.44 as well. And look, when I was doodling that out, it actually ties in with there nicely anyway. I didn't even draw that out first. But you can see there that actually then, yeah, I reckon what we're going to see then is we're going to see probably a bit of ranging. Again, short term, next few days. Some ranging, probably between $22 and $15. And then we'll probably see it pump up. Because I am feeling pretty bullish about the whole market. I don't see how Cake is going to stay down here for very long. Too many people use Binance Smart Chain and want to do DeFi on there. So PancakeSwap will do okay. Richie says, I'm not in Cake at the moment, but thinking about it. Well, in that case then, yeah, I think if you're not in it already, pretty much anywhere around here is good entry level, right? A good entry point. I believe, like I said, I believe it's going to probably come back down to around $15. Probably about $15.30 actually, looking at it there. And that would be a perfect opportunity to buy in. And I guess you'd probably, you know, if you're risk averse, you could set yourself a stop loss somewhere underneath here, just in case we find ourselves with that breakdown scenario, which I don't think we will, but just because obviously the you know, with Pancake, it's a new coin, so you're not going to have, like, you know, all of that support generated previously. So you probably want to just manage your risk on that one. But yeah, definitely can't be a bad entry point there around $15, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to make, even if we find ourselves with that situation where we go back up to 42k with Bitcoin and then everything pumps with it, if we get back up to that all-time high, you've made 182% on your investment from that entry level. And you could sell then if you think the market's going to turn. And you've made a pretty decent profit, haven't you? So, thanks, James. You've redeemed yourselves. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. When you look at things like this, though, when you look at it and you look at this would be a good entry point, and you go, what will we get to when we're back up to the all-time high again? Which won't take long to get to if everything goes to plan. 182% is pretty damn good. And, you know, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the video, guys. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the video, that this whole situation we're in is an opportunity, right? This market is an opportunity right now. Because there are some coins there where the result could be massive, and you're not having to worry about price discovery, because you know it's already been there. So yes, and Richie says, this is why we need you in our lives more. You're welcome. Yes, I'm going to do more live streams. I'm enjoying the live streams. It's good that we're doing them. I realise that this one's gone on for a while though. We're almost 2 hours in. Although I don't mind being here for 2 hours. As long as people don't mind. But that's it. What have we got in the other chat? Chris says, I think this worthless altcoin theory has absolutely blown out off the water. Which theory do you mean? Sorry, you let me know what you mean by the theory and I'll have a look. Do you follow the AMP token? How did its market cap just quadruple without price increase? Well, that I cannot answer. How would the market cap quadruple without price increase? Would be that CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap weren't recording the market cap correctly. That's the only thing I can think of, because yeah, pretty much the market cap shouldn't quadruple without a price movement, right? Unless maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I can't see that. I can't see how that works, mate. So there must be some sort of error there on the chart. That one sounds very suspicious. But yes, you can make some big money now with some good entry points. I might buy some cake. I know Fernando likes cake. I get it. I get why he enjoys cake. Oh no, that's just normal cakes. Yeah, well, anyway. I might buy some cake, actually. That's a good opportunity, 182%. I do think, yeah, we'll watch it. It'll range. And then once we get towards this level, buy 182%. Nice. I'm happy with that. And if we don't get into a bull trap on Bitcoin, then we get into price discovery mode. And I mean, to be honest with you, cake's got a long way it could go. We have to look at cake in more detail next time, because yeah, 182%. This, you know, just to get back to the all-time high, there's definitely potential for 400% on this one easily. Then 500% maybe. Could be. I have to have a look. That could be a very good opportunity. Thanks for making me think about that one, Richie. I appreciate that. Now, I will take one request from Nadir, because he did ask me loads. Chris is saying in the chat, the Bitcoin maximalist theory. Thanks for answering about AMP. No, you're welcome, mate. No worries. Bitcoin maximalist, as in, do you mean like that Bitcoin drives the market, or that Bitcoin's the only one that matters, because I agree. I don't think that Bitcoin is the only one that matters. I think Ethereum matters. I think a lot of the altcoins matter, but I think because Bitcoin is the one that everybody talks about, it has the, at the moment it's the kind of leader. It does impact the rest of the market. It probably doesn't drive it as much as it used to, and we've talked about that, the correlation between the two. The other coins aren't worth buying is wrong to you. Yes, and I agree with you on that, Chris. I think, yes, anybody who tells you that you should only buy Bitcoin and not buy any other coins is somebody who probably bought Bitcoin at $3,000 or less, right? Anybody who tells you that you should only buy Bitcoin is probably somebody who's already made so much money from Bitcoin that they don't see the value in buying other coins, or that they, because Bitcoin will go up by 3 or 4%, but there are altcoins that will go up by 200, 400, 1,000%. And it happens more often than you think, right? Those are the coins that are going to make you rich now. Bitcoin is like, unless you have enough money to buy loads of Bitcoin now, Bitcoin won't make you rich, right? It will be a nice hedge against inflation. Certainly think that if you bought it now, you're not buying it to get rich. Not Bitcoin. You're buying Bitcoin because you're thinking that, rightly probably, you're thinking that the financial system in the world doesn't work, and that your savings are no longer safe in a bank, and that you're not going to see any interest on them, so you're going to put it into Bitcoin, which is probably the safer option out of all of the coins there are, right? If you were putting your savings into something, Bitcoin would be the safer option compared to a brand new coin like Shiba Inu. Okay, and I can see that point. But if your aim is to get rich from crypto, then you're gonna need to be looking at new coins. You're going to be looking at low cap coins, ones that maybe they're not necessarily new, but ones that have pulled back quite a bit, ones that haven't quite kind of taken off. New projects are great for that kind of opportunity, but just bear in mind, of course, there's a lot more risks with them. But if you can find low cap coins that have lasted, been around since the last bull run, they've survived, they keep developing, those are the kind of coins that will make you rich, because those are the ones that have more room to grow. And it's a bit like with people talking about Shiba Inu. Now, if you got into Shiba Inu at the beginning, yeah, you got rich from Shiba Inu. If you buy it now, it's the same with SafeMoon. I know my friend Tokyo bought SafeMoon right at the beginning. He's very happy because he's made a good profit on it. But if you bought it now, well, the market cap on those are really high, as it is. So the potential growth in the price is not going to be as high as you could find with some newer projects, or some projects that just haven't had as much attention or marketing. So there you go. Chris says, great content, by the way, much appreciated. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I like getting questions. I like hearing your questions and answering them. I enjoy educating and helping, and I learn loads as well from things that people say. Okay, so Nadir is saying GRT, and has pointed out that this is the longest stream in the channel's history. Yes, exactly. And I will have to come off soon because my wife will probably be upset. I'm stuck here. Let's see. We had some spammers. We had Tokyo asking about how to make 100k fast. You can't make it fast, mate. You can... Well, you can, but it's not... I think the problem for a lot of people in crypto is they think fast is like a few days. You can make 100k this bull run, Tokyo. This bull run, you can make 100k. Easily. If I'm right and Brad's wrong, you can make 100k this bull run, just buying up probably any of the coins that we've looked at tonight, right? In enough quantity. and at the prices at the moment, right? How long will that bull run be, though? It may well be that takes you, like, it may be there's a year before we get to the top of it. It may be that, and here's the other thing, it may be that we get to the top and you don't sell. In which case, you made 100k and then you didn't sell, and now it's not 100k. Oh dear. Tokyo points out, yeah, that's it. Safe Moon made you 1,700 from $100 investment, exactly. And and Richie says, "Can I make 100k tonight?" I'm sure I've seen a course. Yeah, I bet there is. I always see them advertised on YouTube. Um, right. GRT, yeah. Richie says, do GRT for people and then call it a night. I think I will. That's it. Let's do GRT now and then we'll call it a night. I don't want to burn out on the first live stream back, do I, guys? So let's get that in and take a look. Now, GRT. It just makes, it pains me because GRT is such an amazing project. This is called the Graph, okay? If you haven't seen it, I have done another video about the Graph. Please check it out. I talk about how it all works, why I believe it is like the next Chainlink. It's probably better to describe it like Chainlink's little brother. Okay, this is that kind of utility in the space. I think it pains me because every time I talk about GRT, I'm like, yep, this coin is going to break out. It's going to do well. It's going to go to the moon because it deserves to. And because if you have a look at my chart, every time I've talked about it, it looks like it should, right? Every time I've talked about it, it looks like it should go to the bloody moon. And then something happens. Oh dear. Yeah, and so for some reason it ends up doing that to me. Quick side note, Chris just pointed out that for AMP, it turns out that it was a case of mistracking. Apparently CoinGecko is more accurate and up to date than CoinMarketCap. Yeah, that's why I use CoinGecko. As you can see, that is the one I've got open here for the FTX token, or FTT I was looking at. Use CoinGecko, guys. CoinMarketCap is trash, unfortunately, for them. But yeah, GRT, every time I talk about it, I get all excited because something's happening that makes it look like it's going to go up. And then it doesn't do what I want it to do, I'm afraid. But it is one of those ones where I really honestly believe if you hold on to this one, you are going to see the returns from it. It's too important a project for it not to literally go to the moon. This one has massive utility in the space. It's all about getting data out of blockchains and into smart contracts. It's like an internal oracle for smart contracts. Now, oracles bring in data from outside the blockchain and bring them into smart contracts. So if you need the price of oil for your contract, an oracle will provide that. If you need data from inside another blockchain, you get that data from the Graph, from GRT. So it's as important and as useful as Chainlink is, but just from the other direction. So to me, this one is such an important project. It pains me that it isn't already $100 a bloody token. It really should be. Richie, you're a star. Richie's just shared a link in Twitch to the video on GRT for you guys. So if you want to check it out, use that link, and I will copy it and I'll paste it into the YouTube channel as well. So let's pop that in there for everybody on YouTube. You can see here why I feel the way I do about GRT, okay? And at least you understand why every time I've talked about it and said it's amazing and it's going to go up, you can understand why I've said it. And you will forgive me for the fact that it's never done anything I want it to do, okay? But you can see here that, it went mental from the very beginning. The moment it launched, it just went absolutely mad price-wise. But you can see here why I thought it was going to go. Look at the accumulation it had. Literally from February. Let's actually get the measurement tool out here. It was accumulating for 92 bloody days, guys. 92 days. And look at that. It is a beautiful, probably overextended bull flag. It's probably what the problem is. It just went on for too long. But that was proper pure accumulation. That was happening for 92 bloody days. Now, to be honest with you, I can understand people just, while everything else was pumping, GRT is doing that. I can understand people going sod this and selling and getting out of it. Right? I get it. It's heartbreaking. And of course, then we dump down. With regards to what happens next, I don't want to curse it for you, to be honest with you. I'm pretty certain if I say anything good about the price movement, it will go the opposite way, Nadir, and I will feel awful for it. But let's just quickly pop in some some key levels for us to think about. So support wise, what have we got? Okay, so it looks like for us, key support is 64 cents. And I will tell you, I've got a lot of people in Telegram telling me that they were buying at 50 cents and 60 cents and are super pleased that they've added more to their bags. At this point here, I mean, I bought up here somewhere. At this point here, adding to your bag is probably not terrible. You're dollar cost averaging in that respect. And you don't need it to go quite so high to end up in profit again. Yes, this will be our support now at around, like I say, 60 sort of 3 cents. Resistance. Now, this is interesting because, as you can see there, we haven't got really any tough resistance levels kind of here. Although you could probably sort of say we've got resistance at around the sort of 97 $1 mark. And that would make sense anyway psychologically that $1 would be a psychological resistance level. So we'll draw in $1 here for us. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just, there we go. That'll do. We will make it red. The next resistance is unfortunately going to be probably a bit of a band. This is why it pains me, because I think you're going to find that resistance is going to be pretty flipping heavy now with this dip. I think we're looking at a heavy resistance level that's going to probably go between 128 and 170. My view on this is that what's going to probably happen, and I think my wife's going to come down and tell me that I've been too long. I can hear her moving around upstairs. So I think what's going to happen is we might range. If everything ranges, we'll range. Okay? We will probably break up above this level. And then I think we're going to end up seeing it range again here between this level. We'll break into there. And guess what? I think the way it's behaved, it's going to range here too. So if you're buying in here, you want to keep an eye on these levels. If we do break out, that's all right, love, I'm just finishing now. If we break out above here, then all hell will break loose on price, okay? I can tell you now, at that point there, the price will blooming skyrocket. It has to, because because if it doesn't, I don't know, I'll just cry. Because I don't know how many times I can say it's a good project and have people reject and ignore it. Richie's telling me, don't move, she won't see you. If I remain super still, she'll let me carry on doing my stream without telling me off. She probably will tell me off. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. That's what I think is going to happen with GRT, to be honest with you guys, though, is that we're going to probably see several phases of accumulation on this one. The initial investors on this one, they've got their they're starting to get their tokens unlocked to them, which is probably why we've seen that range for so long, and that's why I think we'll probably see it continue to do that for a little while. It might be that what we'll end up seeing is that towards the sort of like middle of the summer, while other coins have already done their pumping and starting to slow down, we might see GRT start pumping then. As we kind of see a lot of those initial investors get their money out of GRT, we'll actually see that less suppression of the price that way. Everything has been indicating to a breakout on this one. It will happen at some point, and when it does, it will be kind of insane, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking that it might end up being like Chainlink though, and what we'll do is we'll end up seeing it range the whole way through this bull cycle. And if you remember during the bear market, for whatever reason, Chainlink just continued to gain money the whole way through the bear market. Maybe that's what GRT will do. It'll be once we get into the bear market again, GRT will be the one that shoots off and makes money then. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'd like to see a return on the investment in GRT sooner than that. I'm not going to sell it because I think it is a hodl, and I might buy a little bit more on payday this week. But like I said, for me, I think this one's going to be a long-term hold. All right, guys. Hopefully that's answered your questions. And I will have to call it a day now because, yes, I heard the wife at the door and she's probably wondering where I disappeared to. All right, so hopefully you all enjoyed that because I certainly did. It was really good to chat with you all again properly for a change. We haven't actually had one of these for such a while. It's been nice to catch up with everybody again. Like I say, enjoy all the questions, like people asking me stuff during the stream. Keep doing that. Come over to Telegram, come over to Twitter, ask questions there. I will do my best to answer them. And yes, I will hopefully see you all in the next live stream, which I'll try and do once a week at least, as well as a pre-recorded video for you guys where I'll review projects. So let's get things back on track. Let's do it properly. Because the bull market's still here. I think we're all going to be quite happy at the end of it. And in fact, actually, look, pardon me, we're already back up to 39k. It was 38 something when we were talking at the beginning of the stream. So I've obviously already pumped the market for you there, Chris. Anyway, that or Tokyo's, right? And I've managed to convince enough of you to buy Bitcoin. Right. Everybody take care. Have a good night. Thank you for all joining me. Tokyo, take care, mate. Tokyo, I'll give you a text. We'll arrange to go and grab some lunch now the pubs are open again. Richie, when you're in Oxford, you give me a shout and we'll go and have a pub lunch too. And thank you for the rest of you. Of course, Nadia, thank you for joining us as well. CZ, thank you. Who else have we got? Paul as well. Brad, everybody in the chat there. Thank you very, very much on Twitch. And then to everybody over on YouTube as well. Chris, thank you for joining me, mate. He says, thanks a lot for your time. You're welcome. I've enjoyed it. And thank you for joining me on that one. Yes, Classborn too, although Classborn had to run already. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and I will catch you all in the next one. Yes, now I need to remember how to turn the blooming stream off because it's been quite a while since I had to do any of this stuff, isn't it? Oh, that's my beautiful face. Where's it? End of stream. There we go. I've got the right transition. All right, guys, have fun, have a great time, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye. Oh, I didn't do a dab. Terrible. Here's a dab for you guys before we go. Thank you for joining me. Longest stream ever. Got to do the dab. Dab. Got to leave it on a high note. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night. And see you all next time. Bye.